수순아.
오, 뜻이들래. 라마라. 다 민도 송 구유 민도 송 터서 가보 다만 민도야. 그냥 송데 반주에서 괜찮아. 니想 而且第你民国个当时中马当北个，如果是回应民国，嗯。
Rashidele, number Tamje, Rashidele, Savashan Jason, go no,
I'm just happy to see you.
Both get in bath, Jim Badimbo, so now you did the beating the sound. Upon the charter radio giving is all the dodging, Cheto Doda Jojo Bash, the Chura Santa Law from the Trover Lavado, Labadala of the Shangal Lama Yondija. Gendula sounds are Lord, the judges, Elena Rodan, Pamela Chujacamo, Pamoto Bajavan to Umba, Kajulama. So, and the Omichi in Japan, there to those Sajakan Yamawaji. I think to come most of the top language of us, and the restaurant to like the Chuji. Not dominant, or simply no the China. Amba Chujin the so. Nitere Donka Jugum Chibokala Peva, Tinko Sama, Kashi Delicto in Anita, Tema, Trichobanjak December with the Sanji Jiba, Rauri Pen, Copa Object, or them music is related, Tatan, Tuki, the Monotate, Nail and Najabari, Tritata. Master Sabbath was Tata Pukawakin young today the Telokachi Chamber Captain Palukachi Captain at least on Tirasata Desatinately Justice War course no talks at the Jogo Fatality the Rawang Maple by Yenayang there is and there was no Thomas Jabari. Diritti capite stata di ricerca chapa diritta non qui tesoro teni to quanto sai io posso non me lo capo non parlare e tempo di stata dorca uscire te la so qua di to becco mango ore diritta da sonda diritta la matana e sono un poco a te che ci vuole diritti vogliono te un te 들이 사계긴 행보대 sep이 탐지를 요다는 sep이 남는 사계니 사계 그런 거 깔았더니 들이 sep이 남는 사계니 혼자 로버트 메드서 로버트 맞은 타투박 강에 들이 말을빠니서 말을빠니네 다 말을빠들이 하고 말이 다 다진이 있었지만 무슨 다 족니라 되네들이 다진이 되는 거대니 출라야 되는 거대니 니 차대요래 니들이 니들 덴바래라 드마래 티코라 상황 양대 땅나 들이 고아도 요래 고아도 고아지는 니 너가 너 다른 비진의 세상에 타마 찍도 또 찍도 너무 숨기되나 니추 참지 찍도 되요래서 찍도 많이 해서 동반이 잡도 왔다 했다고 선 거래 근데 송 하자 가르친 거래 그래서 소소리 팀베베 전제시가 같이 용면서 소소 저 고아를 때문이다 저니 적진수 소소의 양당양도 고아를 때니 근데 용마들 보는 추 탐지는 뭐 또 봤더니 제일 때는 이렇게 열심히 시제 저리 포화 체체에 Tiri nonna gewishini tabjelene, nonna nosa tini re, nga no yongshi shego kumare, o chechu no song song rin chabgre, tiri ramsene tata tiri kibo tinzi, mchiyore, ta zere gembo, pa church washu, yung di kane omare, tiri jege tiri nga kate, tiri roma tabjele nisi pawa yenchi.
So again, thank you all very much for joining the Drikung Kagyu Monlam. And so just before talking about Jigten Songkran's song, so also it was said when Jigten Songkran was alive, he had this retinue of many hundreds and thousands of 1,800,000. And so you might think that, this was in the old days. That's when that happened. But actually, right now, still, his great compassion and aspiration prayer continue to remain. So we have mentioned the Guru, the oneself, and the Buddha are one. So, for example, in Tibet, every monkey year or every pig year, for example, vast teachings are being given at the main monastic seat at Drikung. And there have been many signs of his actual presence being present, of his body, speech, and mind. For example, Tibet is a country that might not have any independence, but still hundreds and thousands of people flock together for these special teachings. So also there's this story of in the old days when Lord Jigten Sungkyan was alive, was this Naga who offered him a jewel, and now for his teachings, in a snake year, for instance, or in the monkey, actually, a white snake appeared to listen to those teachings. So in any case, this point here of the Lama, the Buddha, and oneself being one is a very important point to be understood, because everyone possesses the essence of awakening. The Buddha himself had said, all sentient beings are actually Buddhas. They are only obscured by adventitious stains. So that is ignorance, the two kinds of ignorance, which is basically unknowing. And what we don't know is that self and other do not exist. We believe firmly that self and other, this division does truly exist. And we believe that on the basis of there being a duality in terms of form. So then everything appears in a dualistic way, self and other, samsara and nirvana, even in a dharma sense, everything appears in a dualistic way. So here we really need to ask, is it really true or is it false? We have to think about this again and again to gain an understanding gradually. So here it repeatedly says, I'm a yogin who has realized this unity. And so within this unity, all phenomena gather. And it is emptiness. And even that is ultimately empty. So these are very important words, and unfortunately, I do not have a lot of great qualities or learning to explain that so well. I'm just really explaining that based on my own personal understanding, having heard Jigten Sungkran's words again and again. But then once one has gained an understanding, if one practices it and experiences this understanding, I am certain that one is able to realize the essence of all the Dharma. So in any case, since my learning is not great, there might be some mistakes in my explanation. But then again, I don't have to be afraid, because there's many spiritual masters present, and if I am mistaken, then they will respond. And also I have Campo Tenzin here with me, and whenever I'm uncertain about something, I can ask him about that. What I really do, because I do not have much learning of many great qualities, and that's just something I wanted to share with you.
Tari lakpa zazada kongi kata gyude jibju song kagyu de jibju tabje chikda tokpa tela tari tatanga so song tamchu gongpa chikpa zeyna tani niparda tani nyamchari mi kaza ache yuna tari gongpa chikpa didana madiri meware penna chika song chupong je chani mo nipor chik song te tawa chak re song nyamchari lana tari chidini reba chingpa jungya yore tari tabla tari datata kantaki bo ye tera to boyo shungta so je ta mangla tere te kare tari semjin tang jata mawa tesa tari lo sebra jata mawa yore tari tere tari lo sebra jata wa song tari tere tari ta tabangbo song sungwa te te tamche tong tari mawa yang go yore te tawa tari semjin namba na to meba namba na to Principalmente quand tu dans qui là sur ça na na sur ma wo yo le te ta ye tu du ta wo yo le te du ta ba te le ben de long kang yo le de na mu je te sa te le jo je atasha bol pepper caps de le lota na ji zambo que li shu yo le de le ta la ma na bete lo so un timido le mo che su le di de 제 강나티네 들이지 마스는 그 주제 초 tamche kola tuni tuni karuchi tu tesu maret tuni lotawana chi zambu la tuni choja atachi ka choachi ni namgani stanga tuni tapur chu kare yo yamin kare yo tatini tuni lotawana chi zambu tuni rere jide tuni pura chu tachar tuni ka jide jide tamche rere ki nyamsali tang jerum zoran tela soka tamche shoda rere jide shu de jide tene Choe atasha kongdele pe tok yungdela ha ta boli chu yungdo tene lakpa de kepa chu da wa yung tene kong pe gu fa ma dok song teso mares song lama tini de o tene ji ta kong da jeng na mares 당연히요. 제 당시 냠들이네 저달린 거예요. 애쉬 로사를 지도 벌어 마트완데 어떻게 더 찍기로 소소 많이 봐. 소소를 이제들 이제 냠들이 좀 많이 봐지네. 냠들인 거래 애쉬. 오, 다 지금도 다 콩패고도 제 말에 저도 동 거래 속들이 에 문제 산지 다 콩좀 개발하는데 좀 데이터를 요래 데이터를 뛰는 드리직팅 가는 최저 공부 망고에 오고 요래 뭐 냐선이지 저도 찾다 맞거든요 자tok 된 바라 동담고 된 바. 저 바토로 말을 빼나 대회들 주상지 저도 들고 디설들이 다다다 찍찍찍찍 니니지 찍속전도 선거지 공 하정 지모 요래 들이잖아 들이 참막 도지 난 스케이터를 돌래 난 들로만 통제를 찍핑이 나랑 게 다른 가지 좋아들 맞을 바우나 저 돌이 난 락도 난 거면 내가 정도 말에 다 출을 때 바로래 좀 이렇게 키우대 라페용도 미 빼나더니 trilake ang machida no wate yore givishi na manani me raja to the priore
And so, especially this unity here that we mentioned before, the unity of the sutras, tantras, and their commentaries, and how we have to realize them to be one. So, for example, there is the text, the Gongchik, and if there is a person who practices according to the Gongchik, then one also realizes that there is nothing that's not complete within that. Even if you just take out one verse of the Gongchik where it says, for example, the 84 the Dharma teachings are all one in being, an antidote, a single antidote to the 84,000 afflictive emotions. So if we just practice that, if we just practice a single verse, there will be great results coming from that. So there's many methods. We have, for example, the 4 major lineages, or the 8 chariots or 8 lineages, and so on. And so why is there so many? It is because there are so many different sentient beings. And to the extent that there are sentient beings, there are different states of mind. And so therefore it says, according to the different mental dispositions of diverse sentient beings, the teachings are given. So even though we have to unify, there's also a need for so many teachings, because many sentient beings have many different states of mind. So also in this world, there are many different activities that we engage in, either Dharma activities or mundane activities. And still we have to know how to bring them all to a single point. There is another story from the scriptures in the old days when Choe Atisha traveled to Tibet, and he was escorted by the Tibetan translator Rinchen Sangpo. And this was actually a story also that was told to me by my root guru Jime Dorje Rinpoche. And so in any case, they were along the way, and so Atisha tried to find out the state of the Dharma in Tibet, and so he asked the translator about the transmission of the Dharma in Tibet and the practice of the secret mantra after it had spread in Tibet anew. And so then he asked questions to that translator, Rinchen Sangpo, and Rinchen Sangpo explained it in great detail. He explained exactly what kind of Dharma had spread in Tibet and what kind of divisions of practices there are. There is the various generation stages and then different completion stages and so forth. So he explained that all in great detail. And so then when Atisha heard that, he felt very pleased, and he said, so the Dharma really exists in Tibet. And in particular, there is a great scholar like you. There might not be any need for me to go to Tibet. But then he asked another question, and he said, so then how do you practice all of these teachings that you have listed? And then the Lord Sava Rinchen Sangpo said, when you practice them, you have to practice each of them separately, in this and this in that way. So then when he heard that, Atisha felt, that's wrong. So there is a need for me to go to Tibet after all, because you have to know how to bring them all to a single point. So this is an example of a story by a great scholar, a great master of the past. So we have to be able to bring all the Dharma teachings, the heaps of Dharma teachings, although there are many, bring them. We have to be able to bring them all to a single essence, the ultimate truth. And there's only one in the end. So there is a need for a variety of teachings, but all of this great diversity has to be brought to a single point, a single essence. So this is something I would ask you to think about, and in this way also the disciples can benefit each other. You can discuss the meaning of this with each other. So also if there is some discrepancies in my own teachings, you can also discuss that and learn about that. So again, I'm not someone with much learning. I do, however, have great faith in the Dharma and trust in karma, even though I do not possess the qualities of great learning. And therefore, I might be mistaken in some of the things I say. But in any case, I'm offering all this as a mandala to all the spiritual masters here.
chen da tang sama para do so che do to be na jo la che ka sa jo sa je da so mi je nam jo lo re de lo de be nam jo nya re ga nyam ga te lam ka de so ni dara ta dang so chen de de ta mu lu mo chen ta le sa to le yo re de ha ta ka cho mu sa ta che de le de yo re 들이대라 진이디 참하게 삼았던 거야 돼요래. 또 직대에서 보고들 쳇다 삼아 봐도서 찍발이 가리 찍발이 강도 성령들이 누리서 와미 봐. 누리게 직삼을하서 이 집아들이 제대로做래 주제가 것이 오고래지. 무슨 뭐 답은 그러는 성령을 같이 와래. 레 준대랑 이시 지장아시 추사미지 카다야 저버다스 추시 마보지 롬나양 레 준대랑 닝 타발이지도 가면도 따서 못한 거 말이지 문이라지 탐색 랑랑이 쳐서 못한 거 말이지 레 준대랑 이시대 용나 오저 대와 용나 제법 대와 저 개와는 저 대와 개와 가리를 삼제래지 오 신디라 오 지는 사족 샘트리사시 제대로 대지 중대에 요마다 가르 지레 오 삼제가 지레 저런 중이 빠고 저거 갈아포가 톱나 삼제가 지레 저버데버리 삼시바 오 정말들 저런 체제가 소적 따오네요 오 따산족 샘트리사시 오 산족 샘을 로가를 삼족 샘을 가는 일 노바타와 지 레드 데는 거잖아 당과 내 마사나 레벨메 제타와 상호당을 제대로 상호당나 제디 디와 뚱지 요바도 수가를 삼제가를 오 들어서 차지 있나요 제탐제라 핀지 냠좀 로트바 핀지 로르바 조디바 깨니보 땀 요바 들어이나요 매바 들어이나 거다 대화디 대화 just 가리리 오 삼제가 이제스 하, 제리는 소설 아니를 쳤다는 소설 상제 ninja 빨리 갈도 소지 상제 쳤다지 딴 것도 없이 그래. 대려 찐디 대화 탐지라 되네. 찐 상족 생기사 송들이 대라 대화의 탐지 상제 같은 게 대려 상제가 뭐라 그래도 주로 다다 대화 당 대외 저당 대말 줄게 있어. 주로 다다 대화 가는도 나중에 탐지를 내와 가는도 뒤져서 가래리. 오 뒤져서 다 삼지 하고도 나 내가 좀 내가 저리 다 다른 거 내가 just 고노. 오 내가 진짜 돌아서 저서 비싸지. 누구 끼치 맞으나 야 들어오지 옛날에 좀 봐. 너무 봐. 근데 토마사도 세도 왜저 세고 봐. 좀 이렇게 직사면 있어. 뒤 따워서 하고 다시 저대 가도 저대 너무 버치랑래 파도를 뒤 갈래 제거도 오 코는 하나도 빠다고 코는 하나 많이 봐 책답답도 큰걸 책도 봐 큰좀 꼬면 강의나 그런 다 많이 봐도 다시 책답는 책임자로 주는 거야서 그래서 가리에서 저 단진에서 저 단진을 타도서 나를 맞은 분이 뭐 저요 말아 제가 뒤니 다도 레사를 못해더라. 다시와 그봐. 다들이 나서 매봐. 아까도 비슷한지 이거空제 오 랑을 톡 이지 줄 이게는 다들 나를 톡 나까지 제대로 파도 서서로 땅 오 예진이 문제 잡아 나를 내지 잡았지 나를 내지 서서
Okay, so Rinpoche's voice was a little distorted towards the end, so I'm just gonna say what I have. Um, and so Rinpoche said this evening we're talking about the afternoon we're talking about the next song, where it says, "I'm a yogin, realized the unity of this life, the next, and the bardo. There is no boundary of death. In no effort, I, the yogin, am happy. This happy yogin experiences joy. This experience of joy is the Guru's kindness." Um, so this is a very important point for us, because we all in this world have obtained a precious human body. So we are in the midst of life. We have a human life. That is why this is something we have to reflect upon. So Thigden Sumgön says that this life, the next life, and the bardo are one. And so how are they one? So first, we have to understand where it all comes from. And so again, we come back to the infallibility of karma, cause and effect. And as Lord Thigden Sumgön had said, the karmic ripening is the manifestation of one's moment-to-moment thought. Um, um, so, um, so this life, also Mhm. Hello, I'm back. What? Oh my god. Okay, so I continue the translate. Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't know what's happening here. My connection seems to be okay here. I can hear one percent. But anyways, um, can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay. So um, yeah, and so where so I guess the beginning you have, yeah. So we Jiten Sumgin said with regard to this life, like first we have to understand how it is one, how this life, future lives and Bardo are one, and that brings us back to unfailing karma, cause and effect, and how everything that manifests is the manifestation of one's moment to moment thought. Um, there's also a different important song on impermanence where Chicken Sumgun also says that unless you have gained certainty in karma, cause and effect, no, you're speaking about good dharma practice is just sort of lip service. So you might be able to speak much about the dharma. You might have learned much. However, you have to really think about, do you really trust in karma from the bottom of your heart? That's something we all have to think about. Do we really have this certainty in karma? If you have certainty in karma, you know that the cause, that is virtue, will lead to happiness. And that is, what is virtue? It is a mind of loving kindness. And it is said, when you're happy, remember bodhicitta. So in this life, even the slightest happiness that you experience is the kindness of love. For example, even if you're a beggar and you receive a bowl full of food today, that is also has its roots in love. The cause is love. It comes from generosity practiced with love. So if you understand karma, you will be able to think in this way. Then also it says, if you suffer, again, remember bodhicitta. So when somebody else hurts you, then that is not the fault of the other person really, but it happens due to your own karma. So it always comes back to you, and it's not ever anything else, anybody else who is doing something to you. So when someone hurts you, it is your own karma. So therefore, when you suffer, again, remember bodhicitta. So when you think, when you understand this, then you recognize that even the slightest, smallest happiness that you experience in this life comes from love. For example, even if you're an animal, there are some animals who live together peacefully and who have a beautiful voice and a beautiful body and so on. They're pleasing to others. And even that slight happiness has its cause in love. So when you really understand that, then you will take a look at yourself and really examine, do I truly possess this? Do I have such love or not? So think about that whenever you experience happiness. So when you are happy, remember bodhicitta. All happiness comes from love. And that is a Buddha's aspiration. The Buddha said, may all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. So what is your happiness? The happiness of self and others. Whatever it is, it has a cause, and the cause is love. That should be recognized as the cause of happiness. So when you recognize that, then you will feel, I still need more of that. I need to cultivate love. And then also when you suffer, remember bodhicitta. Even if you suffer for just a moment, or even the suffering of an animal, it also manifests in different ways. For example, an animal that's a suffering existence is one where an animal has an unpleasant appearance, or it possesses poison. And even though you don't want to, when you see it, you have to kill it. And that is also due to karma. It is also a natural manifestation of one's own inner thought. So where is that cause? The cause also is within your own mind. It is the afflictive emotions of anger and jealousy. And how does it arise? It arises when you feel that, oh, he did that to me. He hurt me. He harmed me. He said something insulting to me. And he did something that's really wrong, and so forth. So based on words, for example, we develop thoughts of anger and jealousy. And it all comes from self-grasping. There is not a single afflictive emotion that does not come from self-grasping. So recognize that whenever it arises. So first there's self-grasping, and then jealousy arises, and then you humiliate others and you get upset with them and so forth. So the origin, it always comes back to yourself. When others look down on you, when others treat you badly and so forth, it still comes back down to yourself. Your own afflictive emotions, anger and jealousy and so forth. So when you really recognize the afflictive emotions and think about karma, then you wouldn't get angry at the other person or blame them, but you would get angry at the anger itself and recognize that to be the cause of suffering. So when you think about karma carefully, then you will be able to tolerate, accept the suffering, the difficulties you experience in this life. And in this way, you will recognize, you will know what to do to create the causes for happiness and what to do to avoid the causes of suffering. So I hope I got all of it.
o soma kaji tadale rang semgu saunti tino tata takare o sabat semi do tondab de bala rang kwasa chado de unjang ni kude made betri data ni nawa yo bakale rang so sabat semi rang yi chiban do san lojiula o di ja o te sambrang o rang ji ge tri takpo shin kang ta tela so patabji 내가 성공하면 차이용 그거래. 들이랑 그 세븐 유무바가 뒤상으로 차는 거래. 봐도 시바데 강에 들이랑 그 책에 핀바 마도네 그만 입은 저하고 샤스는 들이 봐도라들이 제체 마도가 되고 뒤감이들이 뒤감이 개변 되었대. 들이 돌아로 요 말이 대답제 대화 돌아 대화다 대화 저상 nembarch치 되나 삼바다 니게드 셈네 삼바다 저기 니게드 셈네 말잖아. Tila rangi tarang wangurang tasur de kawata ju tiki nawa charu de parti nawa rag nawa de ha kone o tiki chen datang sama padosam rangi sem neba rangi sem de saungu de kare de o rangi sem samaris saji jonjin de rangi sem yongso de songde o rangi sem samaris o seji samji pingu samni 사바세직 뭐야 사바세미만 독선 뒤로들 뒤콩 제스마만 봐 젠다 스마바도 찍바래 에 그러다가 무슨 잠도 바까미 내갑 일렉 내갑 돌이다 다톡 일렉 배라 대사로 쓴 거요래 내갑 빈바다 다톡 내 와서 뒤져서 성우들 저에서 뭐 따로다는 공수 안 좋고 쓰는 댕 톱성은 다 찍바래 가디나 sem 성우들 보내 샤용을 요래스 내 거는 즉다 메스 따라기 들이 대다고 들이 소소라는 게 다도 셈을 쳤대나 라가 셈 용도 셈티 라가 넘버 타파이나 셈 달랑 대화 탐지 용도 때 스마양 때 라는 핀바타 지라 대화 지랑 저 스마양 셈지가 또 뭔지봐 telhaso pasamo tane tris sesama sesada sama pardosom dordor chikri kani chikri sem saudi tena range jokare deda dev jokare nena o tele tini devata deve joseph madana kadi chikpares nawa chikpachi shayon gores o trita sama pardosom kani chikpares deda sumari tele soso range tena tre rang sem takche tani rang smakari kisado rang sem takche tangoret
So that was for this life. And then the next life, it is that, first of all, if you wish to know what you did in the past, look at your present body. If you wish to know where you will go next, look at your present actions. So in previous lives, whatever seeds of happiness and suffering you have gathered are now experienced in this life in the human body as various experiences and feelings of happiness and suffering. So then the same happens for future lives. Whatever seeds you're planting in your mind now, you will bring with you to your next life. So look at your own mind. What are the seeds present in your mind? And you might think, I do have great love and compassion for others. I do have an understanding of the ultimate truth. But still, since we are still not transcending the dualistic perception of self and other, love is most important. And if you feel that I trust that I have great love, then just naturally the reflection, the projection of love will manifest as the Pure Lands and so forth. So the seeds, whatever seeds are present within your mind will become projected. And so then that manifests also in the bardo. So in the bardo, that is the time, the period after this life, once we have left behind this life, before we take birth again. And so, for example, if one has died an untimely death, it is that one will remain in the bardo for the remainder of one's actual lifespan. And at that time, too, still one's virtue, one's seeds of virtue are not spoiled. So happiness and the causes of happiness, if you never separate from love and compassion, then naturally corresponding appearances will manifest depending on your own mental capacity, whether it is higher, middling, or lower. So ideally, you recognize that the appearances, that these manifestations in the bardo are the projections of your own mind. So that is when you realize, when you have realized that this life, the next life, and the bardo are one. So look at the seeds that are present within your own mind. And you might find my mind is pure. The Buddha said, completely tame, perfectly tame your own mind. If you find that my mind is pure, I truly wish to benefit all sentient beings, I have measurable love for them, then really this life, future lives, and the bardo really do become one. For example, this is also explained in the context of the refuge vow, where it says that if we understand that, then that will lead to a temporary benefit and ultimate happiness. So the seed is that you want to have in your mind is bodhicitta. And if you gain confidence in that seed of bodhicitta within you, then those three are one. Everything that is within your mind will become projected. And if you have gained this confidence in bodhicitta, you will find that I have no fear. There's nothing to be afraid of. So it is important to take a look at your own mind and see the seeds that are present within your mind, to tame your own mind. If your mind is pure, then in this life you will experience happiness already, and in the next life too. It's all the same. For example, if you wish to benefit sentient beings, then that will be the same in this life, in future lives, and in the bardo, wherever you go. That seed is within your mind, that seed of happiness, your own benefit, and the happiness of others. So if you do not separate from that cause of happiness, then it will always manifest, whether it is in this life, in future lives, or in the bardo. The appearances will always appear. It is the same at those three times. But what is important is to relook at your own mind, to examine your own mind. So when we read that this life, future life, and bardo are one, then we have to look at our own mind and look at the seeds that are placed within our mind.
Tata ni gargan nawa de go so ge jama ta to ma thna di ubo to sima shok to tri malam ne ti chowa de to yong go yore 데르진 되는 것은 냠이지 와탐지 더 고고지 기치 뭐 요래 들이 반 나와서 좀 말함다 왜 말함이 봐 체미 봐도 차나 들이 받이 나와서 데르지 들이 다다마다 나와서지 랑기 심지 차고래 고통 그 요래 대외들이 들이 체도 스마 봐도 좀 이쪽도 돈나 말람다니 발 체미 봐도 차다 들이 기빠들이 주도 말람다 또는 들이도 왜 좋아와 대다도 고고 요래
In order to really understand this point, there's also a quote by Milarepa, who said that when you realize that there is no difference between the dreams and the waking state, the daytime perceptions, you have mastered meditation. So here, the dream, we can say, is this life, or this, the waking state is this life, and the dream is the bardo. So often people think that the dreams are not the reality, but that's actually not true. We have to realize that the waking state, the daytime perceptions, and the dreams are one and the same. But if we do not realize that, and if we cling to the true existence, the reality of our waking state perception, then we will also experience these tendencies in our dream state. So for practitioners, that's a very important point to understand, that all appearances, everything we perceive really is just like a dream. There is no difference. Then when you recognize that, then later in the bardo, when the various pure and impure manifestations appear, you will be able to understand that these are all the projections of your own mind. So when you realize that this life, the bardo and future lives are one, you will be able to recognize that the waking state perception and the dream perceptions are no different at all. And then in this way, when you realize that all phenomena, all appearances are dreamlike by nature, you will become liberated from suffering. And therefore, this is an important point to understand.
최근 참별 사점에 다 누가 셔인도 당아 가가지고 내신 양미 제고서 대 제고를 말해서 들쳐서 사마부터 저기 마대 세분 차고에 뭐 하고 그래서.
So therefore it says there is no boundary of death. So then there is no need to establish any boundaries or separation between this life and the next. There is no boundary of death. So when you realize that this unity of this life, the next, and the bardo, what you recognize is that whatever appears is the projection of your own mind. And so in brief, when you have realized the cause of the relative bodhicitta, of the two kinds of bodhicitta, you will trust yourself. You have to trust yourself. And if you trust in that cause, then you will become liberated yourself, and you will be able to show the path to liberation to others. That is a very important point.
라마티는 가리 인지도록 단체도 무동적 잡고에 진디 제상자만용 나라미 나도 로르데디 인지도록 들이 오 다리 라마를 무고 메시 다무 가시 제다고 람거리 라고요 베르짱으로 라마 가리 소지 베 라마 살아요 소다 라마랑 그 디스트릭 보리 생각 내록도는 제가 니스메베 시다와 갑로 또 그랬지. 대면에 앞에는 그도 상속 생각 Sabachemi by Yula Chena, didn't make up the mother to Tapasin Hamlet, now I chat to be already. It's the other Chene. Nimchi, you talked of the city, get on drama, Nonsumba, Tessa, Lali is so demon. Dorna Kang the Tulam Jesse, Jangrang, sent they got to Rashi, Tatum, the Tung Chipa, Donna Trishi, the Lama Chepa may pass. Trishi, Chepa, you meet dinner. Lama get any Tato Lamchi, Ishi, Tang, Ranga Tata Tawa, Tony, is a baby Ishi, get up the Chepa, your Maripena. Petty Tavateli, Hakos of Sanateli, Congo Lama, Jason Jackson, Data, and the Donna Trishi, the Mabravat. Then it don't tato lamco lamcolatin nevalim songatin it lang the tongoa talk it tato lamanjis mata lama chubada so tato wamjelin tato lamanasi yemiti hako gore the 동정은 이제 예매봐 인장 내가 니선 남거지 이 상태 양당 좋네 다음에는 레벨더니 니만이 가는 거만 배제다가 돌아 사자시부 따왔지 나는 내용들이 라마나시 예매라미기 차대요래 들이 데이터를 들이 주로는 공부하기로지 이는 제가 들이 다다지 요리지 송카시 요리 대단지 랑근지 라마타롱 탕바게 드린 적디스고는 실 지랑 라마티 통화리에서 공유는 뭐 라메 착지제들이 당화만 보여래 지랑 당화 라마 원팀 거고 person Patalung tambe te sumbare te junda ore te kalu te te sumbo kong ta ta wong ba to so de la matini tong dala mese te ta sumbare te chudo tam de la tri taxi telegram menda ta ta ba te gevi ni na ba share ja son pe ponto.
And so that is the kindness of the Guru too. So again, here we have to remember the kindness of the Guru. And then next it says, day and night in all 6 times through strong devotion, I am always with the authentic Guru. So sometimes people say and they ask, so it means like throughout 3 times of the day and 3 times of the night, I always have to cultivate devotion to the Guru, right? But actually we have to understand what the Guru really is. This outer Guru is the illustrative Guru, but the ultimate actual Guru is your own mind, your own Buddha nature. When you realize the nature of your mind becomes non-dual primordial wisdom. That is ideally when you realize the view. But even if you have not realized the view, if you give rise to relative bodhicitta, if you give rise to immeasurable love, then you will be free of suffering, and all appearances, such as in the bardo, will manifest as the Pure Lands. So these words here of day and night in all 6 times and so forth actually corresponds to one verse in the 37 Bodhisattva practices, verse number 36, where it says, in brief, whatever you do, look at the state of your mind. What is the state of my mind? So mindfulness is not different from the Guru. So there is no difference between your own mindfulness and the mind of the Guru. The Guru's mind, we speak of the Guru's mind as being the ultimate, omniscient, primordial wisdom. And that is not separate from your own realization of the nature of mind, the non-dual primordial wisdom. So when you realize that, as you mentioned before, you realize that your own mind, the Guru's mind, and the Buddha are one. So in brief, what this is saying is that do not separate from mindfulness. So, and understand the ultimate Guru. We approach the illustrative outer Guru's body to receive his speech Through his speech, we understand the meaning in order to merge our minds non-dually. Also in the Lama Chöpa practice, this corresponds to the taking of the 4 empowerments, where we merge our mind inseparably with the Guru's mind. And even though ultimately the Guru's mind and your own mind are indivisible, temporarily there is a dualistic perception, and therefore we need to train continuously until we realize the ultimate view of non-duality. So when you really realize the ultimate view, you transcend duality and non-duality, everything. That is when you realize the view of Mahamudra. Then just naturally, the Guru's mind and your own mind are indivisible. So this is what I ask you, Dhamma friends, to keep in mind. So we will end the teachings here. There's just a few more lines in the end. So this song of the 6 confidences I offer to the ear of glorious Drikung Thangpa. I do not feel that I attended the Guru for a short time. He accepted me and taught me fully. Talung Gampa had an encounter with Lord Chigden Sumgun, and so Talung Gampa, Lord Chigden Sumgun didn't spend much time with the Guru, and Talung Gampa spent much time as his attendant. So he said, I have several instructions that I would like to offer to you. So this is how it is said. But these songs, in essence, are the realization of Lord Chigden Sumgun. And I have offered them to you, my Dhamma friends, today as a mandala offering. And again, I'm so happy to be able to see everyone directly today.
the Monlam Chimon, the Wazina, the Shabjata, but the Hatan Kawasago, the Samji Mechabari, the Ritango Eugene, so in the Rinjati Kamji, Lama Kevin, Tamji, the Kajatin Monlam show.
Also, this year, His Holiness and Tenzin Rinpoche is also presiding over the great Monlam prayer festival. And if you are able to join that, it is an incredible fortune. It is really inconceivable. I pray for the long life of His Holiness Tenzin Rinpoche, mainly, and then all the spiritual masters in the world, may they live for many hundreds of kalpas.
So Tajakala Yoba, Lama gave a Shiji, and Monlam Chimon, the Majuna, Tamji, Kajatimba, the Parjemiba, the Nirakam Monlam show.
And also, I would like to honor all the other spiritual masters from around the world who, the various places who are joining us today through this meeting for the Drikung Kagyu Monlam. And I'm also praying for your long life. May it last for many hundreds of kalpas, and may all your enlightened activities be free of obstacles.
Desaiba, Pirate Chilena, Kishikunto Jamsing, the Tindaman Sunguyore, the Terry shocked about the Hatakarchio Iore, Napatamjigate, Tongishaman, the Romatamjite to Cochison, some Jimachabasonam Chimbore, Tashi.
And also again, Kenshin Kunchu Gyamsen Rinpoche is also giving teachings at the Rinchen Ling, which is the second main seat of the Drikung in Nepal, Rinchen Ling Monastery. So here, Kenshin Kunchu Gyamsen Rinpoche is giving teachings on the Tindamani, and it's very important to receive those teachings. So I invite you all to please join those teachings and receive them. If the disciples are able to do that, the merit of that is really incredible. So many tashi dele.
Yungmang de be no jirab so chen samna go be ra re nya de so ja ti chum mun ji je kin ji kun jo jam chen sha ten so.
Oh, thank you to Drikung. He is enjoying with us. He is from Europe. I think they're quite late now. Thank you. Okay, now we are going to read Camp of Aspiration Prayer 3 times in three language. Sanje seje rabda gangwar yo soje senje kana jenye ba deda da ne me je wo yo rowa gunje je yonon je ba je re won ro ba yo sanje je ba da ne da je Noa Gunda Jewa Dimbanjo, Zera Gunda Jimbo Jewa, Dade Dane Radan Jawar Yo, Jarwa Gunje Jesu Lom Jurde, Zambo Jeba Yonsu Dozi Jim, Zeran Jeba Jemi Yondaba, Dade Manya Jemi Jeba Yo, Maye Gwedan Lodan Jenge, Jabam Dada Meye Gwenom Dong, Ruwa Gunje Dage Jezambar, Tanje Gedo Dage Juden Do, Dejen Paro Sima Rabdende, Sanjay Sena Noyo Jima Juru, Debo Konor Dubai Jurwai Teta Mali Yonsu Songwai Yu, Leda Nyamon Dije Lenam Le, Doyen Jidin Ruwa Nongsu Yang, Jedi Memo Jime Jabai Je, Nyeda Nongka Topa Midai Je, Shinga Chungzong Sonan Jezang, Nizong Donga Rabde Shevar Dewa Dolan Ruwa Gungwe Ruwa Damje Lone Bimbarde Sanjo Juba Yonsu Dozi Simje Doge Judan Dembar Jo Zombo Juba Dane Rabde Mawong Kalpa Kunde Juba Dage Judan Zombar Kangjuba Deda Dane Dadu Rubai Yo Leda Manan Dane Sinji Jam Jiba Dada Molan Jide Dala Bimban Dube Rubai Zamboy Jiba Rabdu Dimba Deda Dayan Dadu Deba Yo Deda Dagan Yimayo Sanje Seja Kurwen Gomboana Musan Dade Dage Jarvada Mawang Kalpa Kunda Majoba Detalayan Juba Jajeje Jarva Namje Dambe Chundinje Sanjo Juba Kunda Nawarse Zambo Juba Nambara Jamaya Mawang Kalpa Kunda Jibaje Sabo Tamje Toyang Kurvaina Tunai Ye Dona Mezeni Tada Yera Dinde Namtada Yoden Koja Mazen Duda Ju Taje Tena Tanye Jenande Jinge Sanje Meja Sanje Na
Sanje Seje Vuna Yobala Sanjo Jeba Yujen Tawaje Deda Malu Sonan Dayan Tazam Jena Tuzun Senyi Je Sanje Jamsu Shenan Jamsu Dan Karwa Jamsu Yujen Radun Yo Songje Yenla Jamsu Dake Yawa Kaya Yela Nanda Po Ruwa Kanje Somba Jiye Sanje Somla Tajen Yoba Je Tusan Shepe Jarwa Tamje Da Kole Tana Rabdo Gulwa Ye Teda Kaya Sonya Mazela Yoye Dobji Daja Rabden Yo Mawong Karba Tamje Yowaya Keje Jaga Dajan Yobaje Gaya Karba Tusun Sededa Keje Jaga Jana Yoba Tusun Sheba Meye Senge Gong Deda Keje Jila Dagita Tada Deda Kana Juyola Juma Julve Nanta Tobjen Yo Kaya Tusun Tage Shingopa Teta Teje Tendeng Obaido Teta Mali Sona Tamje Te Jarwa Naji Shinga Kulanjo Kaya Malun Jidin Romano Teta Ramban Sanjang Kuloko Nyamin De Barade Shandaido Gumbo Kunji Chungde Danje Wo Kunde Nyelwe Dunde Donanda Gune Goye Tibe Tobdaida Kunde Yonjin Tibe Donanda Kunde Jaba Samba Dagito Kunde Gebe Sonan Tomnanda Jaba Miba Jebe Yeshito Kira Dada Tenten Tobda Sanjo Dona Yanda Debaisi Leje Dona Yonsu Dazi Nyamon Dona Kunde Nyombarisi Deje Dona Domi Rabzi Zambo Jibe Dona Zobarje Kenan Janto Nambai Dazi Senje Janto Dana Nambai Junan Janto Rabden Tonzi Yeshe Janto Rabden Tobarzi Jeba Janto Nambar Tazi Molan Janto Rabden Tobarzi Sanje Janto Rabden Juzi Karba Janto Majo Jebaje Kaya Dusen Shebe Jarvaye Sanje Jebe Molan Sedana Zambo Jebe Sanjo Sanjene Degon Dage Male Tobaja Java Kanje Seja Tobobo Kange Mene Kunde Sanjisa Kiba Dedan Sumbai Jebe Ser Gewon Dedan Tamje Ratemo Ledan Adan Yijan Nanda Jeba Nanda Shina Yongda Wan Zambon Keba Jenda Wo Tenda Tajan Tedan Sumbai Sho Kune Kewo Zambo Jibe Se Nyabai Jena Molan Jibai Je Mawan Kaba Kondo Majo Wo Tiye Saha Mali Tobai Je Jiba Tane Seyo Majo Je Yande Namzon Sepzon Mibai So Jiba Zeme Pola Nene Jang Dedan Jiba Tamje Tawai Je Namke Tardo Jiba Jezamba Simje Male Tayan Digende Jedan Ledan Yabon Tajeba Daga Mulan Tayan Dedamu Kaya Suje Jenan Taye Jende Jarwa Nola Lada Meye Deve Jonanja Yenge Dani Karbar Bulwa Kanga Hove Jarbon Detene Sajo Joge Jisu Rameje Nije Tanya Deba Jibane Nawan Toye Teyan Tinyan Tung Teta Niparam Ni Dewan Tung Mece Teyan Teta Lepar Kung Kunda Sampo Teyan Chendrawa Teta Rinporam Mato Teyen Jurun Same Mapo Take Tekwana Kange Meshi Wange Sepata Teye Sampo Jupan Tejena Yoda Male Yonsan Yawan Yor Yishi Tana Zodan Zinanda Nedan Kado Nandan Tiban Yor Didan Mete Mabu Temata Dide Sombo Golan Jiban Yor Sanjo Shinwan Ronde Tenyan Ro Sone Senjen Pise Tendo Sanjo Sanje Golo Rabde Denan Dedan Jeba Samje Kaya Sambo Jeba Molan Jawa Dana Dona Loba Ye Deya Noba Miban Sanje Sanjo Jolai Sonya Masi Jaba Jada Tija Pawada Kunda Sambo Deya Dejen Deda Ganje Jisa Dalose Yewan Deda Tamje Rabdamo Tisa Shebe Jarwa Tamje Uwa Kanlan Joda Mabade Dage Gebe Zawan De Gonja Zambo Jisa Rabdamo Vaidya Danen Cheve Dili Jurbana Deba Tamje Dane Sesade Moso Nawan Taye Tentane Dewa Jinje Shindu Rabdondo Deso Nene Molan Dedaja Tamje Mare Munden Yorwayo Deda Mare Tage Yongsukan Jete Jese Simje Pimbaje Jarwe Jengwa Sanje Gawade Bimo Damba Shinden Tileje Nawan Taye Jarwe Musundu Longde Boyan Dage Tedojo Dene Dage Longde Raptone Germa Mambo Siwa Tajaye Oye Tokyo Sobye Namsaya Simje Nala Ba Mamboje, Zamboje Be Mala Tabaye, Gewa Jungli Take Jufapa, Tinen Dove Geve Zavana, Geje Tiga Tanje Joayo, Kaya Zamboje Be Mulande, Sonam Daye Zambo Kantopi, Ruwa Duma Chuburi Shimwana, Oba mi bene ra doare jo, molan jarwan de dain jogeto, tayen roba gala bizi jen, gunde zambo jibe yonrode, miso ne na male tongwa yo.
普贤行愿品第63页。所有十方世界中，三世一切人师子，我以清净身语意，一切遍礼尽无余。普贤行愿威神力，普现一切如来前，一生复现刹成身，一一遍礼刹成佛，于一城中成数佛，各处菩萨众会中，无尽法界成亦然。深信诸佛皆充满，各以一切音声海，普出无尽妙言辞，尽于未来一切劫，赞佛甚深功德海，以诸最胜妙华脉，伎乐图香及伞盖，如是最胜庄严具，我以供养诸如来。最胜衣服最胜香，末香烧香与灯烛，一一皆如妙高具。 我悉供养诸如来。我以广大圣解心，深信一切三世佛，悉以普贤行愿力，普遍供养诸如来。我习所造诸恶业，皆由无始贪嗔痴，从身语意之所生，一切我今皆忏悔。十方一切诸众生，二乘有学及无学，一切如来与菩萨，所有功德皆随喜。十方所有世间灯，最初成就菩提者，我今一切皆劝请，转于无上妙法轮。诸佛若欲示涅盘，我悉至诚而劝请，唯愿久住刹尘劫，利乐一切诸众生。所有礼赞供养佛，请佛住世转法轮，随喜忏悔诸善根，回向众生及佛道。我随一切如来学，修习普贤圆满行，供养一切诸如来，给予现在十方佛，未来一切天人师，一切意乐皆圆满。我愿普随三世学，速得成就大菩提。所有十方一切刹，广大清净妙庄严，众会围绕诸如来，悉在菩提树王下。十方所有诸众生，愿离忧患常安乐，获得甚深正法力，灭除烦恼尽无余。我为菩提修行时，一切去中成宿命，常得出家修境界，无垢无破无穿漏。天龙夜叉鸠盘荼，乃至人与非人等，所有一切众生语，悉以诸因而说法。勤修清净波罗蜜，恒不忘失菩提心，灭除障垢无有余，一切妙行皆成就，于诸惑业及魔境，世间道中得解脱，犹如莲华不着水，亦如日月不住空。悉除一切恶道苦，等与一切群生乐。如是今语成刹尘劫，十方利益恒无尽。我常随顺诸众生，尽于未来一切劫，恒修普贤广大行，圆满无上大菩提。所有与我同行者，于一切处同集会，身口意业皆同等，一切行愿同修学。所有益我善知识，为我显示普贤行，常愿与我同集会，与我常生欢喜心，愿常面见诸如来及诸佛子众围绕，于彼皆心广大供，尽未来劫无疲厌。愿持诸佛为妙法，光显一切菩提行，究竟清净普贤道，尽未来劫常修习。我于一切诸有中，所修福智恒无尽，定会方便及解脱，获诸无尽功德藏。一尘中有成数刹，一一刹有难思佛，一一佛处众会中，我见恒眼菩提行。普尽十方诸刹海，一一毛端三世海。佛海即与国土海，我便修行精解海。一切如来语清净，一言具众音声海，随诸众生意乐音，一一流佛辩才海。三世一切诸如来，于彼无尽语言海，恒转理去妙法轮，我身智力普能入。我能深入于未来，尽一切劫为一念。三世所有一切劫，唯一念际我皆入。我于一念见三世，所有一切人师子，亦常入佛境界中，如幻解脱及温力。一地毛端即为中，出现三世庄严刹，十方成刹诸毛端，我皆深入而严净。所有未来照世灯，成道转法复群有，究竟佛事是涅盘，我皆往诣而清净。 速集周遍神通力，普门遍入大乘力，智行普修功德力，威神普覆大慈力，遍济庄严圣福力，无着无依智慧力，定慧方便威神力，普能积极菩提力，清净一切善业力，摧灭一切烦恼力，降伏一切诸魔力，圆满普贤诸行力，普能严净诸刹海，解脱一切众生海，善能分别诸法海，能甚深入智慧海，普能清净诸行海，圆满一切诸愿海，清净供养诸佛海，修行无倦精解海，三世一切诸如来，最胜菩提诸行愿，我皆供养圆满修，以普贤行护菩提。一切如来有长子，彼名号曰普贤尊。我今回向诸善根，愿诸智行悉同彼，愿身口意恒清净，诸行刹土亦复然。如是智慧好普贤，愿我与彼皆同等。我为遍尽普贤行，文殊师利诸大愿，满彼事业尽无余，未来季节恒不倦。我所修行无有量，获得无量诸功德，安住无量诸行中，了达一切神通力。文殊师利勇猛智，普贤慧行亦复然。我今回向诸善根，随彼一切常修学。三世诸佛所称叹，如是最胜诸大愿。我今回向诸善根，为得普贤殊胜行。愿我临遇命终时，尽除一切诸障碍，面见彼佛阿弥陀，即得往生安乐场。我既往生彼国矣，现前成就此大愿，一切圆满尽无余，利乐一切众生界。彼佛众会咸清净，我时余胜莲华身，亲睹如来无量光，现前授我菩提记。蒙彼如来受记已，化身无数百俱胝，智力广大遍十方，普利一切众生界，乃至虚空世界尽，众生极业烦恼尽。如是一切无尽时，我愿就近恒无尽。十方所有无边刹，庄严众宝供如来，最胜安乐施天人，今一切刹为成劫。若人于此圣一经于耳能生信而养，或胜功德恶之事，永离一切诸恶道。此人善得胜受力，此人善来人终生，此人不久当成就，如彼普贤菩萨行。往昔犹无智慧力，所造极恶五无间，宋此普贤大愿王，一念速疾皆消灭，如性种类及容色，相好智慧贤圆满，诸魔外道不能摧，堪为三界所不共。速诣菩提大树王，坐以降伏诸魔众，成等正觉转法轮，普利一切诸含事。若人于此普贤愿，读诵受持及演说，佛之觉获胜菩提道。若人诵持普，我说少分之善根，皆缘成就清。我此普贤殊胜边胜福皆回向，诸众生速往无量。如是愿王殊胜无边诸众生，成就普贤庄严经，灭去皆。 I pay homage to the noble Manjushri, to those in the words of the 10 directions, how many they are, all the lions, times, to all of them without exception. The force of my aspiration prayer for excellent conduct brings all the victorious ones directly to mind. Bowing as atoms in the realms, I prostrate to all the victorious ones. In a single atom, there are Buddhas as numerous as atoms, each residing in the midst of their sons and daughters. Like that, I imagine the whole Dharmadhatu completely filled with victorious ones. To those with oceans of inexhaustible praiseworthy qualities, with sounds containing oceans of tones of melodic speech, I express the qualities of all the victorious ones. I praise all the Siddharthas. With the finest flowers, the finest garlands, music, ointments, supreme parasols, supreme lamps, and the finest incense, I make offerings to the victorious ones. With the finest cloth, supreme scents, and fine powders equal to Mount Meru, all displayed in supreme and magnificent ways, I make offerings to those victorious ones. With vast and unsurpassable offerings, I venerate all the victorious ones. Through the power of faith and excellent conduct, I prostrate and offer to the victorious ones. Whatever negative actions I have performed with body, speech, and also mind, overpowered by desire, aggression, and stupidity, I confess each and every one of them. I rejoice in everyone's merit, the victorious ones of the 10 directions, who, passing through the stages of awakening, attained Buddhahood beyond attachment to turn the unsurpassable Dharma wheel. I supplicate with my palms joined together those who intend to demonstrate nirvana, to remain for kalpas as numerous as atoms in the realms for the welfare and happiness of all beings. I dedicate whatever slight virtue is accumulated through prostrating, offering, confessing, rejoicing, requesting, and supplicating to enlightenment. I make offerings to all the past Buddhas and those residing in the worlds of the 10 directions. May those who have not appeared quickly fulfill their intentions, and passing through the stages of awakening appear as Buddhas. May the realms of the 10 directions, however many, be completely pure and vast. May they be filled with Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who have gone to sit before the powerful Bodhi tree. May all beings throughout the 10 directions, however many they may be, always have happiness and be free from illness. May all beings be in harmony with the aims of the Dharma and achieve what they hope for. May I perform the conduct of awakening and remember my lives during all states. In all my successive lives, from birth to death, may I always be a renunciate. Following the victorious ones, may I train bringing excellent conduct to perfection and engage in pure, stainless moral conduct, which never lapses and is free from faults. In the language of gods, the language of nagas and yakshas, in the language of kumbhanas and humans, in however many languages of beings there may I teach the Dharma. With gentleness, may I exert myself in the paramitas. May I never forget bodhicitta. May all wrongdoing and whatever obscures be thoroughly purified. May I be liberated from karma, kleshas, and the work of maras, and act for all beings in the world like a lotus to which water does not cling, like the sun and moon unhindered in space. Throughout the directions and reaches of the realms, may the suffering of the lower states be pacified. May all beings be placed in happiness. May all beings be benefited. May I bring awakened conduct to perfection, engage in conduct that harmonizes with beings, teach excellent conduct and perform these throughout all future kalpas. May I continuously be with those whose actions accord with my own. May our conduct and aspirations of body, speech, and mind be the same. May I always meet with friends who wish to benefit me, those who teach excellent conduct, and may I never displease them. May I always directly see the victorious ones, the protectors surrounded by bodhisattvas. In future kalpas, without tiring, may I make vast offerings to them. May I retain the genuine dharma of the victorious ones and cause the appearance of awakened conduct. Train in excellent conduct, May I act in this way throughout future kalpas. When circling all my existences, may I develop inexhaustible merit and wisdom and become an inexhaustible treasury of methods, knowledge, samadhi, liberation, and virtues. In a single atom, there are realms as numerous as all atoms. In those realms reside infinite Buddhas in the midst of bodhisattvas. Beholding them, may I perform awakened conduct. Like that, in all directions, on the breadth of just a hair, there are oceans of Buddhas, as many as in the 3 times, and oceans of realms. May I act and be engaged with them for oceans of kalpas. A single instant of Buddha speech is a voice endowed with oceanic qualities. It has the pure qualities of the melodic speech of the victorious ones and is the melodic speech that accords with the inclinations of all beings. May I always be engaged with the Buddha's speech. May I be engaged through the power of my mind in the inexhaustible melodic speech of the victorious ones appearing in the 3 times who turn the Dharma like a wheel. As all future kalpas are penetrated, may I also penetrate them instantly. May I be engaged in and penetrate in each part of an instant, as many kalpas as are in the 3 times. May I see instantly those lions among humans appearing in the 3 times. May I always be engaged in the sphere of experience through the power of illusion-like liberation. May I produce in a single atom all the arrays of realms there are in the 3 times. May I be engaged with the arrays of the Buddha realm in all directions always. Those lamps of the worlds who have not yet appeared will gradually awaken, turn the Dharma wheel, and demonstrate nirvana, the final peace. May I go into the presence of those protectors. Through the power of swift miracles, the power of the jnana, the door, the power of conduct endowed with excellent qualities, the power of all-pervasive love, the power of virtuous merit, the power of wisdom free from attachment, and the power of knowledge, methods, and samadhi, may I perfectly accomplish the power of awakening. May I purify the power of karma, conquer the power of kleshas, render the power of maras powerless, and perfect the power of excellent conduct. May I purify the ocean of realms, liberate oceans of beings, behold oceans of dharma, realize oceans of wisdom, purify oceans of conduct, perfect oceans of aspiration prayers, offer to oceans of Buddhas, and act without weariness throughout oceans of kalpas. All the victorious ones who appear in the 3 times awaken into enlightenment through the excellent conduct of various aspiration prayers for awakened conduct. May I perfect all of those. The eldest son of the victorious ones is called Samantabhadra by name. I dedicate all this virtue that I may act with skill similar to his. May I also be equal to him in his skill in excellent dedications for pure body, speech, and mind, pure conduct, and pure realms. May I act according to the aspiration prayers of Manjushri in order to perform excellent victorious actions. Not tiring throughout future kalpas, may I perfect these activities. May my conduct be without measure. May my qualities also be measureless. Remaining within conduct without measure, may I send out emanations. Sentient beings extend as far as the limits of space. May my aspiration prayers extend as far as the limits of their karma and kleshas. Though someone adorns with precious jewels the infinite realms of the 10 directions and offers these to the Buddhas, or offers the supreme happiness of gods and men for kalpas as numerous as atoms in the realms, the genuine merit of someone who hears this king of dedication, who is inspired toward supreme awakening and gives rise to faith in it, is more supreme. Whoever makes this aspiration prayer for excellent conduct will be free from the lower realms and free from negative friends. He will see Amitabha soon, acquire all benefits, and be sustained in happiness. With all of this, his life will go well. Before long, he will become just like Samantabhadra. Whatever has been done throughout the power of not knowing, all evil, even the 5 acts of immediate consequence, will be quickly purified by those who recite this excellent conduct. They will possess wisdom, beauty, and designs, and be of good family with fine complexion. They will not be overpowered by Maras or Tirtikas. The three words will make offerings to them. They will soon go before the Bodhi tree, and having gone there, they will sit to benefit beings, awaken into enlightenment, turn the Dharma wheel, and subdue all Maras and their hordes. The full ripening for those who are involved with, teach or recite this aspiration prayer for excellent conduct is known only by the Buddhas. Without any doubt, it is supreme enlightenment. I dedicate all this virtue following and emulating the warrior Manjushri, who is omniscient, as is Samantabhadra. With dedications praised as supreme by the victorious ones who appear in the three times, I dedicate all my roots of virtue towards excellent conduct. When the time of death comes for me, may all my obscurations vanish. Seeing Amitabha directly, may I go to his realm of Sukhavati. Having gone there, may I actualize all these aspiration prayers, fulfill them completely, and benefit beings as long as worlds exist. May I be born within a beautiful lotus in that excellent and joyous realm of the victorious ones. And from the victorious one, Amitabha, directly may I receive a prophecy. Having received this prophecy there, may I benefit all beings in the 10 directions through the power of my mind with many billions of emanations. Through whatever slight virtue I have accumulated by making this aspiration prayer for excellent conduct, may the virtue of the aspiration prayer for all beings be accomplished instantly. By the infinite and genuine merit attained through dedicating the aspiration prayer for excellent conduct, may all beings drowning in the river of suffering reach the place of Amitabha. May this King of Aspiration prayers bring about the supreme aim and benefit for all infinite beings. Completing the scripture adorned by Samantabhadra, may the lower realms be empty.
Okay. Now, prayer for world peace, Tibetan and Chinese together, then again English.
第50页世界和平愿文。完全大乘祈愿最佳旨，做事众生心思常颠倒，身外大众错乱之因缘，往昔流传人中的一笔，让人忘怀一方永得己，修学佛等光念将乱分。对水不教世间的灾害，必者灭乱自然之不为，尤其危害佛教外国僧。今此世间所有诸祸害，人言是受平息人主，所有为你不问众生之。基座众生健康如地心，前世有种光之因情海，尚且相互现具人自心，世间各处安乐且富足，并愿佛教兴盛且常住，在人诸佛菩萨之地里。人凡所有分别诸善根，多得弥勒百善尽相离，唯愿大乘祈愿之真佛。Page 50, Prayer for World Peace. To the unfailing sources of refuge, the three jewels and the three roots, and especially to Chenrezig, the protector of the land of snows, and to Noble Tara and Guru Padmasambhara, I pray. Please remember your sacred pledge of former times. Please grant blessings that this aspiration be entirely fulfilled. In this dark age of decline, the thoughts and actions of beings are corrupted, and the balance of the outer and inner elements is lost. Through these causes and conditions, humans and animals alike are seized by epidemics and diseases unknown in the past. They are struck by planetary demons, nagas, evil spirits, dark forces, and elemental spirits. Crops are damaged by blight, frost, and hail, and there is fighting and dispute. Untimely rains, heat waves, and droughts in the world, fear of earthquakes, fire, adversaries, and natural catastrophes, and in particular the evil hordes that hurt the teachings and so forth and cause harm and violence throughout the world. May these be swiftly pacified and vanquished from their very roots. In the minds of all beings, humans and non-human, may precious and supreme bodhicitta arise from within. And free of harmful thoughts and actions, may the minds of all be filled with love for one another. May the entire world enjoy abundant happiness and wealth. May the Buddha's teachings spread far and endure long. By the truthful power of the three roots, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, by any root of virtue existing in samsara and nirvana, and by the power of our highest pure intention, may this aspiration be fulfilled.
Long light prayers, also Tibetan and Chinese together, then again English.
Oi doje janje dele narudu maba mela jeje gambo pamo dewa jerwam devamba kaje laman nanje doje yo kare rave kore shekamsu Pidon dewa mare yungwenu Yene dewa tene janto ya Yaben wata tenyorsi Gonjo gane shaya singiji Tingwon dinge pepe na chenye Kundan sube loden suse Lende jezao lombe shadeondo Kunjo zenje tanye degombe Limban zena tase tojende Toga juje jeze nuwaya Jege oye jege shadeondo Wabe yata devoye Noga sosu gajaka Shiden wogu sosen shiden ba Adien wajien kuja wajayarzi Pinden yungwen nejen chu Jimbaya ren nebaito Jibun jingan jigun Kuzen yatan
Page 53. Great Vajradhara, Tilopa, Naropa, Marpa, Milarepa, Dharma Lord Gampopa, Pagmodropa, and Lord Drikungpa, may there be the auspiciousness of all the Kagyu Lama's blessings. For this realm, encircled by snow-covered mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness without exception. Tenzin Gyatso, powerful Chenrezig, may you remain steadfast until samsara's end. Page 54. You are the embodiment of the three jewels. You, a great being, are the holder and promoter of the teachings of the Shakya Lion. Your supreme enlightened activities guide beings through your ever-excellent conduct. May you, the precious, spontaneously accomplishing Guru, live long. Great Lord of the Three Jewels, upholder of the Drikung teachings, you relieve all beings through the power of peerless compassion and the peace and illumination of the true Dharma. May your life be long. Page 55. The one known in the noble land as Arya Deva emanated into the Gaur clan of the eastern Tibet as Chödingpa, the heart son of Jigten Gonpo. May the life of glorious Garchen remain steadfast for 100 eons. May the Buddha's teachings, the only source of benefit and happiness, long endure. And may the lives of those upholding the teachings remain steadfast like victory banners.
Dedication prayers, also Tibetan, Chinese together, and then English.
Dedication, page 56. Through this merit, may I attain omniscience, and by defeating the enemy, wrongdoing, may I liberate from the ocean of existence all beings who are tossed by the waves of birth, aging, sickness, and death. I pray that the Guru may have good health. I pray that he may have a supremely long life. I pray that his enlightened activities spread far and wide. Grant blessings that I may never be separated from him. Just as heroic Manjushri realized the ultimate state as it is, as did Samantabhadra, so shall I emulate them and fully dedicate all of these virtues. By the blessings of the Buddhas who attained the three kayas, by the blessing of the unchanging truth of Dharmata, and by the blessing of the immutable Sangha, may my prayers be fulfilled according to this dedication. By the power of the three jewels truth, the blessings of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the great might of having fully completed the two accumulations, and the pure and inconceivable nature of the Dharma Dhatu, may these prayers be fulfilled accordingly. By the virtues collected in the three times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment.
Next dedication prayer is 3 times in 3 language. Oi tamba je rambo je tawa tan je pa je pa pale lama tamba nanda yadan je la tu so je na yo pe san je semba pawo dan pa mo nam je ma dan kan de so dan je do la gung so da ja ge we tawa ja je bon da yan do la dine Nirmaye samje sanje sanje la bento pa joje
大概就了牛梦关对家的写当当的么，我家查多个三八门将我这些。查巴丹尼巴尼巴丹格的这里三八个节怎样门将我这些。三八丹年节上九节生节大概距离呢永生这辈个辈新年。南瓜的娘把一个就得在等年了，去撒家进宫就跟我着多把就业，大南结尾对接在那样的对接东啊，不鸟我就业，心里的叫我马就业，到我老板叫我马就业。叫我那个我当街，主我当街，是你心的是我当街，去你心的当我当街，这个当不到街，撒家进即将去撒家进宫，就跟我走多把就
第58页最后一行。圣道至尊大珍宝根本上师与传承具德上师诸圣众，本尊诸众与安住十方之一切诸佛菩萨众，永父永母于前母，以及空行一切诸会众，祈请垂念我，借由我等此广大之善业根本力，祈愿能以身口意三门。饶益一切有情诸众生，祈愿我之心绪中贪爱嗔恨愚痴我慢嫉妒等烦恼心念不生起，祈愿我对此生之名望美誉受人敬重之念，虽一刹那亦不起。愿以慈爱悲悯菩提心润泽我之心绪矣。祈愿我成等同虚空摄持一切之善知识，祈愿我于此生得证大手印殊胜之成就，祈愿即使死亡时刻来临时分，解痛苦亦不生起，祈愿不受坏恶之死，祈愿不死于颠倒邪见中，祈愿不遭非时之使，祈愿此时心中愉悦欢喜，并具彻底清明之心性，具极大光明之法性，即使临终或是中阴时，亦愿现证大印殊胜之成就。
Page 58. Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind root and lineage lamas, divine assembly of Yidams and assembly of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, heroes and heroines, Yogini and assembly of Dakinis, dwelling in the 10 directions, please heed me. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all sentient beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy not arise within my mind. May thoughts of fame, reputation, wealth, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, and through that may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. May the torment of suffering not arise even at the time of my death. May I not die with negative thoughts. May I not die confused by wrong views. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of the mind as such and the pervasive clarity of Dharmata. May I, in any case, gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the bargain.
Sabjang Gomban Devaran Jenja Dimba Dayen Yoren Yor
61页。说知遍照遍知法至尊，愿其解除自在之功法，人前法之教法便有记，愿以闻思修而宣行之。尽心佛语，以及随顺意。遵循妙善引路不颠倒，是彼护助珍贵之功法，愿发心生长久的安住。
Page 61 at the bottom. May the teachings of the omniscient Dharma Lord, who has seen all knowable things, the master of interdependence, Drikung Ratnashri, be upheld through teaching, practice, learning, contemplation, and meditation until the end of existence. Through all the virtue gained by showing the unmistaken path that accords with the utterly pure teachings of enlightened intent, may the teachings of the precious 10th Bhumi, Lord Drikungpa, flourish and long endure.
Thank you. Thank you, Rinpoche, and all who have joined this wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. We completed wonderful.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
다시 내래 톡지치 thank you.我做的可能离旁边早了，没有说年纪了，可能今年吧，今年这两个可能看板这边就说的是怎么说，
I have a draw map, but I have a Sanjay Damadam Baru.
你把这那我这 case 你我注意把这看板这都打你看板，
看板的，当然是我。
哦，什么节？不是这些的嘞。我今年没多，
记得。
都。
蛮的。
过了家都过了。哦。
他们这些讲些的。
哦，什么去过这边？
他就是什么大大里头。
呀，那是。
当然就去做当不了是的。
哦，他去。
他这后归上了，他
去做当不了是的。
哎呀，我干哪马浪花的？
哦，对着了。
这个我其实我不是。这这红了，他干嘞，马上去。
那时候对着了。
那时候这些的嘞，肯定就蛮紧用。
那是，肯定那把年纪几蛮紧的嘞哇哟，肯定那把这些的嘞。
不这估计讲真的，
还有的嘞。
啊，把我把娘的，这刚了总给他。
老。
他们我娘的总这样子。
这个看起嘛是。I can't. I'm sorry. Don't call it Tama.
Yeah,